Pew, pew, pew.
You call that a tank? Kaboom!
Ah! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I'm old Big Mek, that's me, Best Grot, and today we're playing with tanks. Let's get into it! Alright, so what do you have there exactly?
I have an Ultramarines Vindicator for my Ultramarines army.
Okay, and why did you want a Vindicator?
I wanted a Vindicator because I wanted something big to take down big bunkers, like orc bunkers and other tanks.
Alright, and is that the first tank you painted?
It is my second tank, first big one. The other one is an Imperial Guardsman tank drone thingy-bobber.
A little mini one?
Yeah, that I painted and custom made into an Ultramarines.
Alright, well that one's looking pretty done, so what are we doing with it today?
We are weathering it.
Weathering it. Alright, well, let's bring it over to the workbench, and let's learn how to weather together. Alright, so we are over here at the workbench to do the weathering, but first let's explain kind of what that is and what it looks like. So this right here is my looted tank for my orcs. I built this off of a World War II's model back when looted tanks were a thing, and it's weathered about medium. So you can see here on it, I've got some paint drips from the Grots doing their paint job. I've got some dirt and wear on my tracks. I've got some wear down the bottom of it. A little bit of rust here and there. I've got a nice soot going on my gun barrel, as well as some pretty heavy chipping up at the top on the heavy surfaces, some bluing on the chrome exhaust where the exhaust would heat up. So this is decently weathered, but not overly weathered. For overly weathered, we'll take a look at the Gorka Morkanot. Well, not strictly a tank. It still gives you, it's a vehicle, it gives you the idea of the weathering. You can see just how heavily weathered this is, especially on the bottom here, showing all the chipping, all the texture, all the dirt, all of the paint that has been rubbed off of all of the edges. You've got all of your exposed rivets, heavy chipping everywhere, oil stains and things like that. So this thing being a ginormous weapon of war that is used constantly is going to get a lot heavier of weathering on it. Thus, that's the effect I went for. Now, our Ultramarines, on the other hand, they're going to keep their stuff pretty clean, right, buddy? Yeah, so the Ultramarines, I mean, Space Marines especially, but Ultramarines in particular, are very meticulous about following the Codex and keeping things nice and clean. But it doesn't mean that you can't weather. What you do is, instead of focusing on things like damage or rust or age, you want to focus on dirt, making it look like they're in the middle of a battle but not necessarily destroyed. And for that, we have weathering powders. So what a weathering powder is you get this little case, and it's got, I don't know, kind of like a little makeup compact basically, with a couple of brushes in it, and it's got different values on it depending on what you're doing. So this one I use a lot. It's sand, light sand, and mud. Pretty self-explanatory. This one's got orange rust, gunmetal, and silver. This silver is really nice to do a little bit of wear on edges where you don't necessarily want chipped paint, but just a little bit of worn paint. The gunmetal can be used for that as well. So if you want like a darker metal underneath, or you want to show like a weapon that's been fired but not sooty, the gunmetal is a good one. And then this one's got snow and rust. Rust is, you know, self-explanatory. And then the soot, this one's really good for like flame type weapons, meltas and stuff, or weapons that aren't really taken care of. That is the soot right there on this. And you can see it provides a really cool effect that really sells that that is a functioning weapon. So what we're going to do is we're going to use weathering powders on the Vindicator here, and Best Grot here is going to learn how to do it. So let's get this all flipped around, and you can see his hands do some work. Alright, so when you're picking your weathering powders, you want to look at the basing that you have on your regular army. So you could see here, the mud is a pretty good match. The light sand is a little bright, and then the regular sand is kind of okay. So a mixture of these two on the tank is going to look more natural with the rest of the army than this one will. All right, so how this works is you take the little sponge applicator and you rub it in the side that you are going to use. You see now I've transferred some to that. And you're going to pick up your vehicle, decide where you're putting it, and rub it lightly on the vehicle. So we've got some of the mud on there. what we're going to do is put some mud here on the bottom of the tank, and you're going to rub it in the direction you want it to go. You can see just that quickly it made a difference, and you've got this sandy effect going down the bottom. Go. Yep, nice and light. There you go. Yep, doesn't take a lot. You see it transferring onto the blue?
Yes.
Okay. Then you use the brush side here when you want to brush some into areas that you can't get the little applicator head in. So like here in the wheel bogies, we can kind of push that in and you get that lovely weathered effect. No, front to back, front to back, front to back. There you go. Front to back. There you go. Looking good. Alright, so on the front where you don't have the directions so much, you still want to try to go from the front of it up to show like it would naturally. But it's okay to get more loose with it here, because this thing's going to be, you know, hitting rocks, and the rubble's going to be turning around and making stuff from other angles. So it's okay to have some variability here on the big prow. So now we have a layer of that darker mud color down, and we've got the first layer of our weathering. Now we're going to take the orange sand and add some of that to it, and you'll see that this is a much brighter contrast on the dark blue. So just like you would highlight up your colors when you're painting, you end up highlighting up your weathering as well. And it provides layers of different colors and textures to really sell the realism. Alright, so now we have all of our layers of the dust and dirt, and you can see how much more realistic this looks than trying to do it with paint. And it can really help elevate any kind of a quality of paint job and bring it into the realism. Now, we're nowhere near done yet, because now that we've done the dirt, we should do the weathering on top. You notice we don't have a whole lot of dirt on top, if any at all, mostly around the back to show the dirt being kicked up, but we do need to put some wear and tear on it. Alright, so what we have now is the silver, and we're going to use that on the edges that we're going to get some wear. So here on the collar of the turret, there's a bunch of raised edges that would get wear just naturally in the battlefield, and you're just going to lightly catch those edges with it, and it kind of edge highlights with the silver. You're also going to get kind of up here on the edges of the doors, and then obviously on the front prow thing, this is going to get all scratched up. This helps sell that effect of scratching up the paint and getting into a lot of battle damage. Alright, and now that we've got our silver edging everywhere where it is going to catch those edges in kind of normal wear and tear, the last thing to really sell the effect is the soot. Now the soot can be used in multiple places. One of the best is exhaust. Anywhere where there's going to be exhaust coming out, this will darken it down without doing that weird Nuln Oil look, and you're going to get that really good sooty exhaust effect. You also want to do it on barrels of cannons that have been fired, such as the big Vindicator cannon right here. It's really going to help sell that this gun is used to take out Gorkanauts and Morkanauts. Another great place is like the exhaust fans right there. You want to get those, bud? Okay, you can really get it in there on those. You want to get the soot down in the little vents. Yeah. The other spot the soot is great for is any kind of blast mark. You can see here we've painted a little bit of silver on this to look like it got hit by a blaster. To help sell the effect, you want to soot around it to show the burning from whatever blasted it or scraped it. All right, and that is our final transformation. Gotta turn it slower, buddy, so they can see it. There we go. Hold on, let go of the bottom so they can see the tracks, because that's where you did most of the work. There you go. Then, yeah, hold it from the front and back and show them from that side. There you go. Flip it up a bit so you can see the bottom. Nice. All right, well, what do you think of your Vindicator?
It is awesome.
All right, and that's how you weather. So it's so easy, even a Grot can do it. And you can see that it will elevate any paint job and help sell the realism of it being on the battlefield. Even if you're not going for battlefield damage, just showing that it's in the fight, that the guns are firing, the tracks are kicking up, dirt and mud, and you're getting ready to get in there and have a good time with your WOG. Ultramarines WOG, don't they?
What? They don't WOG?
Alright, that's going to do it for this video. If you like what you saw, please feel free to throw a like down below. Subscribe if you're not already. If you didn't like it, throw that down there too. Let me know in the comments what you felt about the video and any kind of feedback that you have. I really do appreciate it, and I try to make adjustments to make things better for you to watch. We don't always get to the same experience on this end that you do on that end. So I hope you really enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to be part of a larger group with this, you can join us on Discord. We have our own Discord server. There is a link down in the description below. It's completely free. You don't need any kind of anything to do that. You can just come on over. We also have a Patreon. We do have a free level on Patreon, and even free patrons get to see videos, long format videos first. But paid patrons do get some exclusive stuff going on, including we are working on having a bit service. So this will be hand-picked bits guaranteed to be Orcish or whatever army you play that you'll be able to order from me at the paid patron tier level. And the only reason I'm doing that is because this could get so popular that it would end up taking up all of my time, and I don't have enough time or bits to do that. But I do have enough to take care of my paid patrons, so much appreciated to all of you that do that. Make sure you listen to the Goth Rockers. They're the awesome kick butt band that does our intro and outro song. If you like the artwork, check out Velgrim. He is also linked in the description below. And if you really like it, you could buy a t-shirt with it on there, with old Big Mek on there, with the artwork done by Velgarn. Or you could buy our Red Squig shirt as well. There is a link down in our... yes, the Red Squig gives him WOG anyway. There's a link to our Teespring down in the description below. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Good job, buddy. Alright, there's only one thing left to do. Ready? Wagon! Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Kaboom!